여러분 안녕하십니까. 사람지어서양의 캡틴 따갑니다. 저는 현재 이스라엘 예루살렘에 있고 오늘은 투어를 한번 가볼 건데 울트라 오소독스 주이시 극보수주의 유대인 마을을 한번 가볼 겁니다. 여기 호스텔에서 투어가 있더라고요. 다시 한번 가보겠습니다.
Okay, my friend, how are you? My name is Moti Barlev. I was born as an ultra-Orthodox at the extreme neighborhood. Oh, thank you, I like it. You will do it all of the tour?
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank
I was
you.
born as the ultra-Orthodox neighborhood called Mea Shearim. This is the very extreme neighborhood of the ultra-Orthodox. 20 years ago, I left the ultra-Orthodox, and right now, making researches about the ultra-Orthodox, and also I'm a tour guide all over Israel, especially in Jerusalem. Here in Israel, how we call the ultra-Orthodox in Israel? Perfect, Haredim. Haredim in Hebrew is like the people that they are scared, they are fear, and it's very accurate. It's the anxieties from the outside world, from the Western world culture. That's the reason why they lock themselves inside like eye walls. In Israel, we've got 1,200,000 Haredim among 9 million civilians. They are like 12% of the population in Israel, and it means a lot. What is the difference between a regular religious person and the Haredim? Look at the guy over there. He is a religious person, he got the kippah, but his haircut is quite a Western world style, and he wears jeans and a t-shirt. He is not a Haredi. But the other guy in the left side with the suit, or the guy that is about to crossing over the road, he is a Haredi. So what is the difference between a regular religious person and a Haredi? First of all, the Haredim are not Zionists. You know what is Zionism?
Yes.
Zionism is like the belief that the Israel people dissolve the states. The Haredim are not Zionists. I will later explain about it. It's not forbidden in the Bible or the Jewish law to wear a jeans, but I will not wear a jeans because my ancestors, they didn't wear a jeans, or they tried to imitate these ancestors. And there is another issue. The dresses are actually a tool to make a differentiation between them and the outside world. When I am actually walking with the long suits, there is a meaning. I am not a part of the Western world. I want another lifestyle. I have another wishes. The Western world, it's in one direction. I actually want another direction at all. And we have got tiny differences. The three main branches of the Haredim are the Letahim. Letahim are Jewish people that came from Lithuania. The other are the Hasidim, Jewish people that came from east of Europe, Ukraine, Poland, and so on. And the Sfaradim are the Jewish people that came from the Arab states, which mean Yemen, Moroccan, Iraq, and so on. The Lithuanian, let's say it's quite easy to recognize them. They actually wear the short suits with the Italian hats. Mostly the singles are shaving the beards. Contrary, unlike the Hasidim, they have a long beard. The Hasidim will never touch the beard. From this point of view, the beard is a spiritual symbol. I do not touch it. The Sfaradim, again, the Sfaradim are the Jewish people that came from the Arab states, but we will recognize them according to the color of the skin. Sorry to say it. They are a bit darker. They came from the Arab states. I want to say, very careful. In the Haredim, there is a kind of discrimination against the Sfaradim. They will not accept them to the colleges. They will not get married with them. There is a kind of segregation between the groups. They consider them as religious and Jewish people, but they will not get involved in them. The most important group from my point of view are the Hasidim. We will recognize the Hasidim according to the long suits. And Hasidic boy will get the velvet hat, the boy in the left side.
여기가 구역별로 조금 다르다고 합니다. 이게 저쪽 50m랑 여기 50m랑 아예 다른 마을이래요. 여기는 조금 극보수 하레dim들이 사는 마을이고, 극보수주 유대인들도 복장에 따라서 조금씩 그 종류가 별로 나뉜다고 합니다. 안녕.
You know, in the Judaism, we have got many values.
Family?
Family? Okay, sub-value. We have got many values. To do favor, to pray, to follow the rules of God, to do the mitzvot. And we have got to study Torah. That to study Torah is the most important thing. To study the laws of God. To study the laws of God is not for knowledge, to know how to behave. No, it's a value to study the laws of God. And it's not like to study laws or like this, there is no hand. You're supposed to study the laws of God till your last breath. Who studied the Torah, the laws of God? Which gender? Just the male, not the female. So they construct a society around this value. The boys will go to the Talmud Torah, it's the elementary school. I want to emphasize, there is no secular study at all. There are no secular study. Maybe very basic mathematics, but there are no history, science, and so on. They study just Torah. When they will become 13 years old, they will go to the yeshiva in front of us. We can see the yeshiva. The yeshiva at the beginning of the day is 8:30 a.m. and the end is 10:30 p.m. You want to go to the yeshiva? No. Don't worry, they will not accept it. So, they sit, couples. One is asking a question, another is answering. The motto is actually to analyze the text. It's a tradition of more than 1,000 years. If you are a boy that studied Torah and you are a genius, so you will be honored. People will give you respect. And when you will come to the age of the marriage, the parents, they give money to the couple when they're getting married. Most of the money will give the parents of the girl because they have her honor to buy like a son-in-law that studied Torah. The prizes, an average boy, not a genius, is like half a million shekel. A genius guy will get $1 million, $1.5 million shekel. Why do you actually prepare such a lot of money? He says, like in the Western world, somebody, he wants a brand, he buy a Mercedes or like this, so I want a brand, and my brand is actually a genius boy. After the marriage you continue to study Torah. If you will study Torah, you will be an head of a yeshiva, a college, and if you will survive your 90s years old, you will become the chief rabbi of the Lithuanian. The chief rabbi of the Lithuanian is one of the powerful person by the Haredim and even outside. And he studied Torah, a guy, 90 years old, 17, 18 hours a day. And you will see people asking his advice, politicians coming to ask his support, and so on. And 500,000 of people from Israel participated in his funeral. So who brings the money? Who brings the income?
The wife.
The wife, the women. That's very interesting. There is no civilization like the Haredim civilization that the girls are more educated in secular study than the men. A common boy here, if he's not from abroad, don't know ABC, even nothing. A common girl will know. After the marriage, the women, they will go to work. They will bring the income. The most valuable thing to do is to study Torah. The world exists because of the study of the Torah. So you will get a nice portion in heaven. What about your wife? So if she brings the income, she shares with you the place in heaven. This is the duty of the women. We have got here 2 missions. The boys study Torah, and the women, they raise up the children, and they brings the money. Questions?
Yes. Okay.
92% are not anti-Zionist, which means they are a part of the game. They are Haredim, but they goes to vote, they takes budget from the money, and we have got in Israel, they have 15 seats among 120 seats in the parliament. By
Shas.
the way, that woman walking with the two boys, she is an anti-Zionist. She is not a part of the game, which means she and her husband and her community do not voting, do not taking money from the states. They have nothing to do with the Israel state.
Right.
So again,
They don't do like the free healthcare or anything like that?
no, they use it, but they pay money. But they not take money. National security and so on, they do not take, for sure. I will later speak about the anti-Zionist in the other station. But I want to speak about the 92% that they are voting and they are a part of the system. God promised to Abraham, Isaac and Jacob the Holy Land. Jewish people prayed 2,000 years to turn back to Israel. 3 times a day, and we turn back to Israel. We have got here policemen Israeli, intelligent men, even criminal Israeli. That, believe me. So why you are not a Zionist? Why you are not a part of this dream? God fulfilled this dream. Why not? They says we are a long chain of 3,000 years. And this chain follow the rules of God. You the Zionist, you are secular. You break the chain. So we cannot recognize any Israel states as secular states. They do not keep Shabbat. They do not follow the rules of God. So they cannot be Zionist. Makes sense. But the question is, if so, why are you taking money from the states? What is the answer? They says like this. Israel is surrounded with 500 million Arabs that wants to destroy Israel's state. Why they do not succeed? Not because of the IDF, not because of the Mossad, of the intelligence. No.
Because they study Torah.
Because of us. Perfect. We study Torah. We are the warriors of God. You are laughing. Okay. Doesn't make sense. But from this point of view, they are right. Because if you open the Bible, God says, you will stay in this state just if you will follow the rules of God. So this is the Zionists. Do not study Torah, do not follow the rules of God. And God says, if somebody will not follow my rules, I will kick him out from these states. So we have the privilege to live here. And your privilege is to give us money. Perfect. I give you the general ideas. But of course, many Haredim, they feel attached to Israel states, and their teenagers are more and more Zionist. It's complicated. I give you just the ideas, but it's not black and white as I described it.
확실히 같이 투어하시는 분들 스타일도 많이 나뉘는 것 같아요. 미국 분들이 확실히 뭔가 되게 많이 물어보세요.
Tell you about right now, you know, every one of you can send, pictures even from the tour in this second to your friend all over the world. Here there is no the smartphone and internet, it's forbidden. There are no television. So how they communicated with each other? They have their own newspapers, and there you will read news from all over the world, the war in Ukraine, the visit of Biden here in Israel, and so on. So there are no information news about murder, rape, and so on. There are not at all. And of course, there is no pictures of women at all. Publicly, there are no pictures of women. At the time of the election, the Haredim journalists, they were very tense. What it will be if Clinton will be the president of the United States? They will have an empty square. They cannot publish a picture of Clinton. And they pray to God, and they raped. And as you know, God loves his chosen children. And Trump became the president. You're laughing. You say, it's just a story. By the way, you can see this boy. He is an anti-Zionist boy. You see, the anti-Zionists, some of them actually wearing with a striped suit, not all of them. By the way, the anti-Zionists, they haven't newspaper at all. They do not use a newspaper. They are not interested in news from outside. The anti-Zionist is like a ghetto inside the ultra-Orthodox world. If the ultra-Orthodox world is a closed world, so the anti-Zionist is even more close. Someday I asked one of these leaders, I said, how you got your information? So he said to me, don't worry, you don't have to get information from outside. We're creating the information here inside. We have got here, we're creating the information. But how they communicated with each other? So they have the head streets. The head streets, in Israel we call them Pashkevil, Pashkevilim. Here in Jerusalem, we have got the Pashkevils more than 200 years from the Ottoman Empire. Here you can see this is a mother with two girls, anti-Zionist. The anti-Zionists, at the wedding night, they will shave their hairs and they will put this scarf, the black scarf. And every week she will shave their hairs, or like this. So I know that she belongs to the anti-Zionist. So the anti-Zionists communicated with each other with the Pashkevils. For example, this is an announcement of some women that passed away and invite the people to the funeral. So you can see, she was very humble. She goes to the synagogues to pray. She helps her husband to study Torah. She got, generation of children that study Torah or girls that actually support. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is another interesting estimate. Speak about the challenge of the technology of the smartphone. Yes, according to the law, she cannot cross over between two males. So that's the reason why she had sight. It's very interesting at street. The ultra-Orthodox is dealing with the smartphones. It's a big problem. It's actually causing damage to the ultra-Orthodox lifestyle. They talks against a place that is selling smartphones. It doesn't want a supervision of the rabbis. So this is this ad street. We have got here a huge demonstration against the light rain. So the people, they don't want the light rain. They says the light rain will bring the Western world to us, the secular people, and they damaging the facility and so on. We've got here very violent demonstration.
Oh, isn't this Iron Dome?
Huh?
This is Iron Dome, right?
Yes, no, it's, listen, you can see, this is actually to advertise. Who are the missiles?
Oh.
The missiles not Arab missiles, the missiles the internet, technology.
Oh, okay.
So I offering a residence with the Iron Dome. Like we have the Iron Dome that actually protect Israel from the Hamas missiles.
Yeah, sure.
So we have got a neighborhood without the influence of the Western world society.
One more thing here about the faces. So,
Okay. I will later speak about the Haredim. They want the revolution. They wanted people to go to work or to go to study. So this is against them. And they cover the faces because they're afraid from the law. But they condemn those people. They says those people, they want to destroy the Haredim. They are also Haredim, but they want people go to work and like this. And those are women.
okay. Thank you.
That's very interesting, and it's not so common. In Israel, there are no marriage between Arabs and Jewish people. I'm sorry to say it, but this is by survey. Mostly in the lowest level of the society, we have got stories of girls that actually they get in touch to boys, Muslims or Arabs. This is an organization, the day's motto is to save those girls. They are going to Arab villages and they rescue them. They have, campaigns and like this. And here, they're asking for charity or like this. So if somebody actually adore this mission, so we can give a charity. What are you doing with it? And you record all of your tours all over the world?
Yeah.
But you will teach from your
Okay. Behind me is the Supreme Court of the anti-Zionists. They do not recognize the Israel state. They do not recognize the Israel institutions. From this point of view, the worst thing that happened to the Jewish people during the history is not the Inquisition, is not the Holocaust, is the Zionist states. Because the Nazis destroyed the bodies, but not the souls. The Zionists, they destroy the souls of the Jewish people. They caused to secularity by the Israelis, and they send most of the Jewish nation to hell. So from this point of view, the Zionist states horrible thing that happened to the Israel nation. They have got in a Supreme Court. They will get married, get divorced, business problems, and if somebody disobeyed the rabbis, so what is the solution? If somebody disobeyed the rabbis, they actually they're not police. The tool is excommunication. If you do not follow the rabbis, so nobody will speak with you, nobody will do business with you or like this. But how the community knows about the excommunication? Perfect, they add street. If somebody is excommunicated from the community, you will see an ad street with his name, and of course signs from the rabbis. Signs from the rabbis mean this is actually an official ad street. Those anti-Zionists, from this point of view, Israel people are not allowed to create a state. I speak about the 8%. Excuse me. I'm the Alpha of Love.
Yeah,
Believe me, I know you love each other forever. But here publicly only because God punished the Jewish people and spread them all over the world. And God says you are not a national anymore. You are not allowed to create a state. From this point of view, God gives the power to the non-Jewish people. So if you live in Poland, you have to obey the Polish government, in German, the German government, and you are not allowed to do provocation and to create a state. So they says here, that's the Holy Land. This is the land of God. But he gave the power to the Arabs, to the Palestinians. So we are not allowed to create a state till when? Till Messiah will come. Only Messiah, in a miracle way, will create a state and build the third temple. Most of them, they haven't political action, but they haven't some action against the states. We have got a small group called the Neturei Karta. They are pro-Palestinian. They're cooperating with the Palestinian. I remember when I was a boy, it was a rabbi with a long white beard. He was the Jewish minister by Yasser Arafat government. Of course, he was condemned. We have got more radical people. We are not allowed to live in Israel, and they live in USA. There are like 40 people, that's all. Some of them will fly to Iran, they will meet Ahmadinejad, and of course the Arabs, they like them because they're a kind of a propaganda, that not all of the Jewish people are Zionists. But they're quite famous because they're very exotic and very colorful. So again, 92% are not Zionists, but they are a part of the system. 8% are anti-Zionist, which means they do not take money from the states, they do not go to vote. And the Neturei Karta, the radical, they haven't even an Israeli ID. They do not carry an ID, they don't nothing with the Israel states. Most of them lives over there at the Mea Shearim neighborhood.
Okay, one question.
Yes.
Why the anti-Zionist lives in Israel?
Because again, this is the Holy Land. This says we have the right to live here because we are the sons of God. We follow the rules of God. It's not forbidden to live here. What is forbidden is actually to have a government. You are the sinners. You are not allowed to live here. We follow the rules of the Bible.
The Jews that are living in the walled city, in those apartments, where do they come from?
Okay, the Jewish people in the old city.
Yeah.
So we have got here settlers, which mean not Haredim, national religious.
Okay.
They are nationalists. They serve the army. By the way, they are extreme nationalists. These ancestors used to live there. Okay.
Is it legal to not get an Israeli ID? Isn't
They
it
cannot force
compulsory?
it you. They cannot force it you.
Okay.
By the way, this boy is a successor of a rabbi, a Hasidic rabbi. He is a son of a rabbi. I can recognize a guy according his walking or the location of the pocket that he belongs to the nobility. All of the boys will wear different. They have the privilege to wear different. This boy, his pocket is in the back. It's a sign he belongs or just a dynasty of rabbis. Here, by the way, you can see Zionists, they are the Nazis. Very simple.
와 여기 진짜 그냥 생 유대인 마을이구나.
Okay, please get closer. We are actually in the core. Okay, Moti, you told us that the Haredim society, they have walls between them and the outside world against the influence of the Western world. But here I see like a sign with letters in English Boston, shoes and accessories, and Atzofim in English, and so on. What's going on? Every society, even the closest society, there is cracks, and during the cracks we've got influence from abroad. Haredim, a part of that is actually consuming to buy stuff. Again, you can see here, it says happy life is just without internet and smartphone. So you want to be happy? Give me your smartphone.
May I ask you why you get out of from your community?
I hope in the end of the tour I will maybe tell a few words.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from South Korea.
Huh?
South Korea.
Ah. Nice developed country.
Thank you.
Okay, please get closer. I'm sorry, I'm speaking low. The Bible says that we're supposed to study Torah when? When we're supposed to study Torah? Perfect. Day and night. So there is no time for novels and those nice stories. When I was a child, we've got just 4 or 5 novels, fiction. That's all. Right now we have got a flourish of book. By the way, you are the authors. Which gender?
The women.
Women. Most of the authors are women. Yes. We have got like fiction, and most of the stories are stories about rabbis. Of the very famous series of books is this kind of books. The painter was an Holocaust survivor. He illustrated the life in East of Europe before of the Holocaust. All over you can see, and the stories are very naive, black and white. Evil people. Let's take a picture.
Do you think I can even buy some?
Of course, yes. They will like it. Evil people making business. No, but I actually sold out even Jesus. And the system is very, very naive. First of all, there are no romantic or love and this stuff. A crisis, you pray to God, you go to the Rabbi, and an happy end. This is all of the cast of the stories. We have got the comics. You know, comics we have got in the Western world 60s, and that's very interesting. This is converted stories from the Western world. Some smart guy is watching a movie, like Star Wars, and is converting the story. The good people are Haredim, the bad people are Arabs or Nazis, and of course the hero is the Rebbe, as you can see, in the space, and of course there is the happy end, the Rabbi is praying, the Jewish people defeat the Arabs or the Nazis, and God is happy and satisfied.
오른쪽에서 왼쪽으로 가게 돼. 히브리어도 오른쪽에서 왼쪽으로 써가지고 역시 서점엔 장난감에 빠질 수 없지. 레고도 있네. 여기가 제 헛소리랑 그렇게 멀지 않은 곳이거든요. 여기는 진짜 완전 유대인 마을이에요. 일단 사람들이 유대인밖에 없고, 그 다음에 저분이 이제 설명하신 거를 듣고 나서 보니까 여기가 유대인 마을이라는 게 너무나도 확 와닿아요. 이런 곳이 있다니.
By the way, we have got here a charity box. Why are supposed to give charity? Or because God says, give to the poor people charity. But look at something interesting. They emphasize you will give charity and the rabbis will pray behalf you. They believe in the power of the rabbis. By the way, this guy is wearing like an Arab leader. Why? His name is Rabbi Ovadia Yosef. He was the leader of the Sfaradim because he came from Iraq. Because he wants the Sfaradim to be proud against the discrimination of the Ashkenazim, of the European Haredim. That when Yitzhak Rabin, the prime minister, he make the peace agreement with the Palestinian, actually says to his representatives in the parliament to not vote against them. And that's the reason why Rabin succeeded to make the peace agreement. So he was the agreement with the Arabs and the Palestinians. Very interesting.
תמצאו פריג'ידר הכי טוב לחיים הכי טובים.
Tell them to come because we are going to speak about boring stuff like love and sex and all those nice issues. What is the most evil sin to do by the Hasidic groups? A sin that, wow, there is no forgiveness. Masturbation. Masturbation is forbidden by the Judaism. The Talmud says that masturbating is like he is smelling. Masturbating, you actually destroying many spiritual worlds. And the Hasidic, they take it very serious. See the Hasidic boy. The Hasidic people will teach that the most important thing to do or to be is to be holy. They call that Kedusha, holiness. Holiness is somebody that protects himself from temptation, and the Hasidic boy will teach to walk on the street and to stick his eyes on the ground, to not watching women, of course to not talk to women, not coming to thought about women, and of course not coming to the action of masturbation. If a woman will go to some Hasidic boy and ask him a question, mostly he will not answer. Another issue, knowledge about sex, about relationship. All of the Haredim, there is no falling in love. There is no, I went to the synagogue and I watched some boy, he studied Torah, I fall in love, I want to get married with him. No, we have got the matchmaker. Matchmaker, by the way, could be a woman. We have got many women. He is the guy that got the information of the community and he is matching the couple. The ultra-Orthodox community, we have got a net of an intelligent, which means if I want some information about some guy, give me his name, family name, and to which group he belongs, and in a few seconds, even me, I will get information about him. He is tall, handsome, he is quite stupid, and he's not so serious, he doesn't study Torah like in the yeshivot, but he's a nice person, he's very kind. In a few seconds, it's $2,000.
Huh? What is
2,000, oh, he opened his eyes. $2,000, 2,000 is reward, he got money. How old are you?
I'm young, 29. Still looking young.
You had a lot of job to do. A guy like you, a Hasidic boy like you, 29, he got already 6 or 7 children. You must the time. The Hasidic will get married 18, 19. I got married, I was 18 and a half.
Really?
Yes, but don't ask personal questions. It's not interesting. They will meet each other just once or twice, that's all. They will meet each other just in the apartment of the grandfather or like this, supervised. After the engagement, they will not meet each other till the wedding night. Yes.
Is there a chance for the couple to say if they find out it won't work?
Yes, you can say no.
They could say no.
Yes,
so
but
they
yes,
still
but in most of the
chance.
cases, by the Hasidim, you are like a virgin. You don't know nothing about beauty, about character, unless she is very ugly or. So you will say yes. Why
So
not?
most of the couples will not reject. They will not
Yes.
reject.
But
Of
for
course.
them, it's like a new species from another world. You know?
Okay, so I will tell you something funny. You know, some organization that share like a page with instructions what to do in the date. So ask her which kind of food she likes. Ask her which kind of house she wants. There is something very naive. There are some. What about the action, love and sex? So the Lithuanians are quite open. They haven't a problem with that, except in the time of the period. The Hasidim are quite conservative. And I want to clarify. of course, we've got many adeptus by the Hasidim. There are many groups. I want to talk about the extreme adeptu. There are Polish Hasidic people. They actually consider the making love it's something that is close to a sin. In this community, they have instructions. First of all, they are not allowed to do love just 1 or twice a month. There are no romantic pre-games or like this, not at all. There is no. Some will never talk, never call his wife in the personal name, and the action of love is just to bring children. You are not allowed to enjoy that. Why? You don't want to be from the Gur community. I can understand. Why? This is the idea of the religious, all over the religious, but especially the Haredim who came here to serve God, worship God, and to love God, to a union with God. Who is the obstacle between you and God? A nice time at night with your wife. This is the obstacle. You have to choose if you want a union, an erotic union with God, or with your wife. I don't know if all of the followers of Gur actually follow this rule. And of course, they are a minority. But I want to show you that we've got also ideas like this. The common Haredi is somewhere in the middle.
유튜브 같은 거 뭐 하시는 거죠?
네네네.
뭐라고 치면 나와요?
저 캡틴 타거라고 치면 나옵니다.
타봐요?
캡틴 따거라고.
따거.
네.
이거 제 친구가 보는 거 같은데 이거?
아 그래요?
Maybe. Very excuse me, but I need oxygen, so. By the way, the Haredim, they have an high % of smokers more than the secular, because they haven't such other entertainment.
They have nothing else.
So this is the smoking. So I'm sorry, I'm still a bit Haredi. So
Do they drink alcohol?
alcohol, no, they are not. Just on Shabbat, or we have got a special day called Purim. There is a commandment you're supposed to be drunk. A very funny day, but no, there is no. It's not like the Western world. In the last 15 years, we are aware to a big revolution by the Haredim, and I said they are not like 15 years ago. We can see the appearance of the influential of the Western world. First of all, in numbers. I will say numbers. 20 years ago, just 15% of the boys used to go to work. Right now, 52, more than half. By the way, women are 78, 79. Universities, 10 years ago, 3,000. Right now, 12,000. Army, IDF, 3,000. Right now, 9,000. The revolution, some of the revolution, you cannot estimate it. You feel the environment. The teenagers are not interested in the conservative life anymore. They want a different life. Who are the alternative by the Western world of the rabbis or the priests? If I got some problems, some issues, where I'm going? No, none of you never be by a psychotherapist. The psychotherapist is like the alternative of the rabbi. By conservative societies, there are no psychotherapists. You are depressed? Pray to God. In the last year by the Haredim, you can see the language of psychology, the appearance of the individual. People are going and study psychology or going to psychologists. This is a very significant sign of the Western world influence. Another example, sex abuse. If in some communities they used to cover such stories, in the last year we have got organization Haredim that they will actually expose and reveal this kind of stories. And it's a kind of a revolution. In the last year, 2 celebrities from the Haredim committed suicide because they were blamed as involved in sex abuse and like this. And those stories actually interfering, the mind of the teenagers and like this. What caused this revolution? We've got many causes, but that's the main cause. Internet, the smartphone. But we have got a tiny window, and during this window you are watching all over. And information is power. You open a very simple Wikipedia and you see the opposite, you're starting to asking questions. We have got even Haredim websites. There you will see pictures of women, ideas of women, even a bit feminist. We have got even an underground website that will expose the corruption of the leaders, of the rabbis. He will tell you this rabbi, he got like $500 million shekels. This rabbi have a Cadillac, and this rabbi is not with us, he's in the mansion. But the businessman telling you stories. We have got a dozen of smartphone shops. Here you will see the teenagers, instead to go to the yeshiva, they're buying a smartphone. And they exposed to the Western world. And they're like, we call them the New Haredi. The New Haredi is not a poor man. He belongs to the middle class. We have got the middle class. They belongs to the Western world culture. They are not in the segregation anymore. Okay, the boy behind you, and he's selling smartphones, a blue, he's the new Haredi. He's still a Haredi, but he is involved in the Western world culture. I will not call them a pure ultra-Orthodox, as used to be 15 years. So the rabbis, they gave up. They says, okay, we've got the internet, the smartphone, a new generation, the new Haredim, everything is okay. No. That says that against every revolution we've got the counter-revolution. So the Rebbe and the politician, the Haredim, giving a fight. He says, you want a nice place in heaven? One-way ticket, VIP? Buy a smartphone. There we've got everything, adultery, idols, murder, everything, and you are ensuring your place in hell. And instead, they produced the kosher phone. We've got chicken kosher, milk kosher, and a kosher phone. You can see here there is a sign that says that this phone is actually supervised by the rabbis. So we have got a commission of rabbis and they are in charge. This phone, even though you prehistoric phone, there is no even snake or SMS, nothing, just phone calling. But they succeeded and the people they have a smartphone? He got a smartphone, for example, this nice boy, because he's not care about the rabbis. He's doing what he wants. Serious persons, let's say the righteous people, they have the kosher phone. Some people will have two phones. Publicly, a kosher phone, pay taxes to the community, and secretly they will have a smartphone.
But it's their parents.
And some people like this boy are not care, the rabbis will not tell me what to do, I am going with a smartphone. We can see a revolution by the Haredim community, but we cannot assure what it will be in the future, because we have got two moves. Some people became more liberal, more open, and some people became more radical, more fanatic, and in some cases they struggle each other. But I am quite optimistic that we can see that a big portion of the Haredim, they understood that they cannot live in the 2020 as they used to live in Poland and Ukraine and so on. A few words about the people that lived the community and became secular. Here in Israel we call them Yotzim B'She'ela. Yotzim B'She'ela is a very accurate term. It's actually the people that left the community because of questions. Because the base of the ultra-Orthodox is that there are no questions. All of the answers, this is the willing of God, this is the willing of the rabbi. It's written in the Torah. Since you have questions, you will find yourself in a big trouble. Because you cannot live in a society that questions is forbidden. Some of them will become secular, and we call them the Yotzim B'She'ela. There is a survey that says 40% of the Yotzim B'She'ela lives because they says the ultra-Orthodox society, it's an hypocrite society. You're telling me about idyllic life and you are racist, you are corrupt, and so on. 15%, I call them, like the girls on the beach, they haven't reasons, they want comfortable life. 15% they've got problems of sex abuse or violence, like 20% or even less, they are the ideologists. They left because questions. They stopped to believe in God, stopped to believe in the system, and something like this. So I told you we have got two planets, the Haredim planets and the secular planet. And you know, to live this society, it's even more difficult than a Turkey guy lives to Germany. It's an immigration. This guy, he knows ABC, he knows English, he watches TV, he's familiar with the Western world culture. But this boy or girl that became secular, and especially if he came from Mea Shearim, is actually to reborn. He changed his mind and he has to start everything from the very beginning. Imagine a guy is 25 years old. He got already 4 children. He wants to be secular. In most of the cases, he will force her to get divorced. He became secular. Nobody is waiting for him there. Nobody. He needs a job to feed the children. He needs education. He needs to start everything from the beginning. Some of them don't know even how to start with a girl. And according to some survey, those people are in the highly risk of committed suicide thought, even more than the transgender community in Israel. Because this change make them crazy. When I left, we have got just dozens of people. I left 20 years ago, we've got, right now it's a big community. Every year 3,000 leaves the community, and total is like 40,000 people that became secular and left the community.
Do you kind of officially declare that you're leaving the community?
You don't have to declare.
Or
It's
you
enough
just
you
leave?
put off the kippah.
Okay.
It's not
That's
like,
all.
you know, in the church or declare.
Yeah.
No,
So
they're
you-
not waiting for your declaration.
Just
you will kicked off before the declaration.
How do you keep contact to your family? To your parents?
It's very depends. I specifically have a good relationship
Okay.
because I'm not a provocator. I tell stories for people that they like to hear, not you. It's different. Some family will treat these children like they passed away. A Jewish ceremony, like they passed away, they will sit on the floor like 7 days, like somebody passed away. And from this point of view, it's even worse because somebody passed away goes to heaven, but my son, he will go for sure to hell. But it became more common. And the Haredi society became more open, so we have got many families that accept the children. It's not like 20 years ago. We have got big rabbis, chief rabbis, that their sons, granddaughters became secular. So it's more and more common. But I want to say that the big problem of those people that left is losing the meaningful of the life.
이렇게 오늘 예루살렘에 있는 극보수 유대인들의 마을 한번 가봤습니다. 진짜 가보니까 이렇게 다른 세계가 있구나 이런 생각도 들었고, 아, 이거 편집 어떻게 하지 망했다 이런 생각도 좀 들고, 번역과 편집 고생은 제가 할 테니 여러분들은 한번 보시고 여러분들이 재밌으셨다면 저는 그걸로 만족하도록 하겠습니다. 뭐 아무튼 오늘 영상 여기까지 봐주셔서 감사합니다. 여기까지 보셨을지 모르겠지만 감사하고 다음 영상에 뵙도록 하겠습니다. 필승!